good. I
I'm
am.
good.
I hope you guys can hear Teresa because we have so much technical issues right now that I'm just like, you know what? Let's just get through this, deal with it another time. Welcome, audience. So, Teresa, what are we
Welcome
whining
in.
about tonight besides technology?
Oh, but
Because,
that's the main thing we're whining about. If anyone out there knows something to help us,
well,
you
I
know,
actually we're actually now looking at Podbean as the platform that we're going to use for the podcast. Hopefully, very shortly, we're going to try it out in June. If you know of any other platforms that would be more suitable for what we have, where there's one person in one country, other person in another country, and
hmm
it can allow us to be on multiple platforms at the same time, as well as chat and phone and etc. Whatever. Please hit us up on Instagram or or YouTube or drop it in the chat for us. We really will like some
or drop us an
recommendations. We
email.
have done a lot of research, and so far, the only one that seems to be maybe it might work is Podbean. So we're going to try that out in June. Teresa, as you can see right now, is having a lot of technical issues. So we hope that she's able to get through the show. We're able to see her. We both have lost our backgrounds. We'll have the backgrounds back in June. So, anyways, I am Hillary, Ontario, Canada.
And I'm Teresa in the beautiful island of Barbados. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our show, Hot Tea with Pleasures, where we lubricate your life.
Soon we will be live from the Folkestone Park in St. James in Barbados. Save the date, July 28th, starting at 8 a.m. to noon. Um, is that true? 8 a.m. to noon? No, we're not going from 8 a.m. to noon. It's from 10 to noon.
So the
I'm reading the
8 a.m. is
script.
us
I'm
in
reading
terms
your
of
script.
setting up and getting
Okay.
here and stuff.
We'll be joined by entrepreneurs, Jordan the Fish Cake Guy at Folkestone Park, Phantom Inc., and
Hmm?
Barbershop. So Alistair Design and Cat Spraddle Volka. Join us live and learn more about the Barbadian or Bayesian culture. We call ourselves Bayesians, not Barbadians. Head over, head over, head over to our entrepreneur Instagram pages, like and follow them, and we know you will find some amazing products and services there to enhance your life this crop over season. That's the festival that's in Barbados during so from June until August. Uh, what we're trying to set up right now is to have donations of their products go towards one of the women's shelter down there because you know I'm an advocate for human trafficking as well as partner violence or domestic violence. So, without any further ado, Teresa, or
Go.
disclaimer.
Our disclaimer, all the information that we present to you is information that we have researched, and at the event that you want to have links to do some reading yourself, we can provide you with those links.
Mm-hmm.
So, on with our show.
On with the show. Tonight's topic: sexuality, sexism, and
Emasculation.
emasculation. Male emasculation, because emasculation can happen to male or female.
Oh, that's a mouthful, Hillary. Can you explain the title for us?
Well, we had, I think the pandemic really kind of showed, uh, kind of magnify sexism, which has a lot to do with equity and emasculation of men. During the pandemic, we started seeing a lot of um, misogyny against women on Instagram, especially having these different platforms that would advocate violence or anger or um, hatred towards females. And then you had the other side where you saw a lot of women started deploralizing men. So, emasculation has to do with the treatment of making a person feel less than, not when it comes to their, you know, their sexuality as well as their being. So, for example, let's give an example of of male emasculation. So, who's going to
Okay.
be the male and who's going to be female? So I'm always the guy. I don't want to be the guy this time. You be the guy.
You don't want to be the guy?
Mm-mm. I always be the guy.
Okay.
And then people think that I'm mean.
Um, what do you want me to start? To start?
Oh, sure. No, wait, hold on. No, I want to be the guy. I want to be the guy. I want to be the guy. I want to be nice. So I'll be the
Okay,
guy.
go on.
So, hi, babe. How are you doing?
Hi, babe. What do you mean? How am I doing?
I'm having.
What were you supposed? What were you supposed to do?
I had a hard day at work today. Um,
Oh,
can we
really?
talk
Then
about it?
I'm not in the mood to talk.
I'm having a hard time, and I think I'm going into depression. Can we talk about it?
Depression. Is there something? Is there something else that you want to say besides that? Because I'm thinking you have a different conversation.
Why? I have feelings like I'm a person, and I'm
But I have feelings too, and at the present moment, I don't want to talk about your depression. Do you think
why?
that's relevant to talk about it now? You just came in from work. You want to talk about your depression to bring your work environment into the house? I have to go and prepare meals. Are you going to help me prepare meals?
So I guess not.
That answers your
And
question.
scene because it could go, it can get worse than that where the woman starts calling him
Mm-hmm.
a bitch or whatever, or that he has no
Saying he's
testicles,
weak and stuff
that
like
he's
that.
weak, inferior. There's many. You can hear Teresa. Uh-oh. What? You can hear Teresa? Thank to go to the Go Me Fund. Oh God.
Who's this?
Victor. Victor says,
Oh, hi, good night, Victor. How are you
he goes,
doing?
what? You can hear Teresa? Thanks to Go Me Fund. Wow. No, thanks to
Oh, did he
Ortec.
contributed?
Ortec
Did
helped
he
us out.
contributed to Go Me Fund?
Yeah.
I thank you so much, Victor Hewitt, and welcome to the show tonight.
Okay. Anyways, let's continue. Um, so we're going to tonight we're going to open the discussion, and we invite those who are joining us to drop your comments in the chat. Or regular guests, Rudy and Victor, asks that you share your opinion and not about Teresa's mic, and that's too late because that's already been done. uh, glad he said
He's fun.
y'all on medication. You're all identifying as now. What? What are you talking about? No, we were just doing a skit, Victor. We were just doing a skit. So, you want to start the
That's
first
what
article?
that's what happened when you join late, Victor.
Yeah.
You
You
need to
wanna
be
you
on
wanna
time and you catch the things.
yeah.
Anyway, without any further ado, we go into the 10 ways women emasculate men, and this is even
Without
without them
realizing it, that
realizing
is,
it.
without realizing,
Yeah.
because there's ways you can do it where you don't realize that you're doing that. My finger, I went to a Jen Jackson concert and I broke my nail, so if you see my nail looking kind of funny, that's what happened.
Oh
I went to
God.
Jen Jackson last week. Anyhow, if there, you can do it without realizing it, and at the same time some people do realize it and do it as a weapon, use it as a weapon in the relationship or quote unquote friendship. um, so we're just going to go through 10 ways that women do that and look at that, and we're going to do the comparison because you have emasculation, you have misogyny, and you have sexism, and they're all different, and we're going to go through that. So anyways, go on, Teresa, start it off.
Okay. First way, withholding respect or kindness to motivate him to do better. From my example that you saw just now,
That's not motivation. That's not
withholding
motivation.
respect and or
Well,
kindness
that's what they say they're
motivate
doing.
him to do
They're
better.
trying to motivate him to do better, but there are ways to motivate a person, man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
or they or them. There's ways to do it, and then there's ways to demoralize a person because you want to be more powerful in a relationship. So they use the word motivate. I think that's a cop out. um, yeah, go on.
Okay. The next one is keep repeating how childish he keep repeating how childish he is. So in case he's doing stuff or he's in conversation with you, and the language that you use, you're basically, what do you call it, Hillary? What's the word? Degrading, derogatory,
Degrading. So like women are always,
degrading him.
yeah, they're sometimes often aware of that they're doing this. They wonder why men are so angry, defensive, and or shut down. A common example of emasculation is when a man is driving with his significant other. He turns left to go to the highway, and she says, "You're going the wrong way. The back roads are faster." She's making him wrong and herself right, and this leads to a big fight. But I was just saying to help, she says, by trying to help, it's a way of controlling him. He feels emasculated because he now believes that he can't do anything right in her eyes, and this leads to frustration in their relationships. And that's a way where you don't realize you're doing it. That's one of the examples.
And one word they call it belittling.
Yeah, belittling. Yeah.
So the next one is you
I'm looking
complain.
over here at the. Oh God. He's asking how I broke my nail. I broke my nail at Judge Jackson's concert. Relax. Okay. Okay.
So the next one is
Continue.
you complain about his job, or you complain about his salary.
Mm-hmm. You
Any
saw the. I think we skipped one. It says keep repeating how childish he is.
yeah, there's the one that you already just now you said will belittling him.
Oh, okay. I was
See
talking
that
about the
one, yeah.
motivating. Sorry. Okay. Complain about his
Okay.
job or salary. You're not making
Mm-hmm.
enough. Why don't you do
Not
better?
making enough money, or
Mm-hmm.
you need to change the job that you're in because you want him to make more money, or the
Mm-hmm.
job that he's in, he's away from the family for too long. Sometimes it might be a job where you have to do shift work,
Mm-hmm.
and you always bring up conversation about that, about his job and his salary.
Yeah. And then
So,
mistrust his ability to handle things on his own. So
mm-hmm.
always mansplaining is what we get from when we say a guy is telling us. So I'm not sure if it's womansplaining, but no. Seriously, allow people to show you their ability. In this situation, it's a male. Allow them to show you their ability, and if you have suggestions, of course, give a suggestion, but don't act as though your way is the only way that things should be handled. Do number 5,
one of
Teresa.
the one of the ways that I think that women tend to mistrust, well, in terms of responding to this, is when men have to deal. Like, say the woman is at work on a regular 8 to 5, 8 to 4, 9 to 5 job,
Mm-hmm.
and the man, he's managing the children at home
Oh,
in
stay at
terms
home
of
dad.
preparing lunch when they come
Mm-hmm.
home from school, preparing dinner, getting them ready for school the next day and stuff like that. She would come in, and he might not have done what she would normally do in the same order,
Right.
or something done in the way that she will expect it to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, she will start complaining about his ability to do the to manage his own children. So
Mm-hmm.
that can be one.
Yeah. Because
And
we
then,
have this sentence that we will say, and I was guilty of saying it to my kids. Um, they would clean the bathroom, and I would come in and be like, "Well, it's not clean right." you know, and
mhm,
that's not something, you're not purposely trying to make a person feel less than, but by doing that, you're saying that whatever they just did is not good enough. And
yeah,
I had to learn that they did what they could do, and I should appreciate that. You know.
hmm
So
and
number
the
number
next one is ask for help. There you go. Ask for help, and
yeah,
then tell him he's doing it wrong.
yeah,
So from your example, what you said just now, in terms
yeah,
of dealing with boys,
right,
that explains that one. Nag him or boss him around.
yeah. That one is very interesting because you can look at it from two aspects. The woman asking a guy to do something repetitively could come off as nagging, but nagging is not allowing a person to execute something before you interject. That's nagging. So, for example, you ask your spouse to mow the lawn. Before he even gets the opportunity to get up, why you didn't do it yet? I would have done it a long time ago. I should just hire someone to do it because you're not doing it right. What I gotta do, I gotta beg you, and you've just asked within 2 minutes of asking, you're now demanding and degrading the act before it happens. Okay, number
I think
seven.
one of the things that will come in there too,
Mm-hmm.
that will tend to tie in with this one with nagging and bossing around, is it can go back to number three when you're complaining about his job and salary.
Mm-hmm.
I find those two can tie in there together because if you are a female wife partner that works from home or brings in the majority of the money, your
Mm-hmm.
salary is more. This part here, women they think that they have the upper hand to boss him around because
Right.
they have the advantage of earning more money.
Mm-hmm.
So that can tie in with that one.
And it can
So
all, and I
go
think
ahead.
we had a lot of that happening during the pandemic. I mean, we had an increase of domestic violence during
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, and I think finances were the major cost, and it's always the main cost of fights. But that, having that differences, we saw there was a particular terminology. I can't remember what it is, but a lot of men uh, felt attacked during the pandemic. They felt as though that nothing they did was good enough, and we saw an increase of mental health issues in males actually admitting that they had a problem. And I know society always tells them you're strong enough. If you want to be a man, be
Mm-hmm.
strong. you know, uh, act a certain way, and that makes you a man. And so now you had a person, individual, uh, dealing with a lot of stressors and not being able to manage it because there was no resources to manage it properly. The resources were either overwhelmed themselves or not available to many. Too many. So that became the conversation in a lot of households during the pandemic. You're not making enough money, or you lost your job. What are we going to do now? Oh, look, what have you, and then the criticizing came,
Mm-hmm. And
and that
instead of pooling resources together
exactly,
and work as a team.
and in no form or fashion am I saying that um, that led to or excuse domestic violence, because domestic violence is in itself another conversation. But what I'm saying is a lot of the reasonings behind what was going on during the pandemic had to do with finances. Okay,
Okay. Do you
number
want to read the other one?
number seven. Yeah,
Here. Treat him like he's a Neanderthal with no feelings.
yeah. We had that show back last year that talked about male abuse. Remember? And it was
Uh-huh.
one of our biggest shows. We have 500 and something, or I think it's more now,
I think it more
views.
was went up to seven or so.
Yeah, it's and what it was is society has created this idea of what a man is, and men are expected from childhood to live up to that expectation of what a man is, and majority of them cannot live up to that expectation because it's not real. Okay, men are supposed to be strong, not have emotions. So you're asking a man not to have emotions, because if you have too much emotions, you're weak and you're the p word. um, and at the same time, we want them to have emotions and show love and show,
Mm-hmm.
romance and whatever. You can't have both. So either you want um, him to have no feelings and be the man, that's societal expectation of a man, or you want him to be emotional and be a person. So the the stress of being what is considered a man have really gotten overbearing to a lot of males, and they're dealing with a lot of mental health issues and trying to live up to that expectation of it. And some women have also put them to that high regard and saying if you're not doing certain behaviors, you're not man enough. And that's where the emasculation comes in.
I guess the word Neanderthal
Mm-hmm.
explains it because looking at that definition, it's
Yeah.
saying someone that's unintelligent, someone that's uncool, someone that's uncivilized,
Mm-hmm.
and they also mention it's stereotype.
Right.
So that explains what they were trying to put over there. So the
I
next
gotta
one
keep
is
an eye on the
compare.
time. I keep forgetting. 9 minutes.
Yeah, 24 minutes out.
Yeah. Okay.
Comparing him to compare him to your exes.
Oh, that is so
Now
wrong
this
in
one is so
every. Let me tell you something. That has nothing to
exactly.
do with emasculation. That's just wrong and rude. Well, my ex can sex me better, or my ex is bigger. you know, Stuff like that. When we know it's wrong, hit low when you're fighting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, oh, my ex used to romance me better, or my ex makes more money, or my ex would do it this, or
Yeah, the
there's no need for
comparison
that.
is not a good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. So you should be with the
Oh,
ex.
I was about to say, offer him unsolicited advice.
Right.
No.
You know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's hear.
So, for example, let's say he says, "Oh, I bought a car today, and I gotta fix it up," and you start giving advice as though you're the mechanic, and you
Mm-hmm.
never even touch a car in your
And
life.
you're not even in the field.
You're not even in the same field or anything like that. You're ready to, and then if he doesn't take your advice, you're getting angry for what? So, you know, I think communication is one of the most beautiful things, and for some, the most difficult thing that you can do in a relationship. But when you start communicating with each other and understanding and respecting each other's boundaries, in the relationship, by the way, there are boundaries that should be established because before you knew each other, you had those boundaries, or you had a life, and you've had a life separate from each other, and now you're coming together and building that foundation to create a life together. So you still have to respect the boundaries. So maybe wait a minute, for let him ask you and say, what do you think, or can you give me your opinion? And then when you give the opinion or as a suggestion, not as though you're right and everything you say is correct and everything he says is wrong. Number 10.
Okay. Number 10, criticize how he spends his downtime.
Oh, that's a big one.
So
You know
why
what the big
would you
one is, right?
criticize how he spend his time
Yeah.
when you're
Oh,
not spending time with him?
honey, why don't you go and put your foot up? He go put his foot up on the football game. Why are you watching the football game, not spending time with me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're
We
saying it's
all
like
need a minute,
he
huh?
cannot do anything. He cannot do anything that is right in your book. So he
Yeah.
gets comfortable. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying he's lazy. He's not doing stuff around the house. He's not
Exactly.
working. He's not trying to improve himself. And then when he gets busy now, you're
Mm-hmm.
complaining again.
Now we have to realize that every person does something for mental health balance. Some people play video games, some people hike, some people read a book, sing, dance, whatever. You cannot tell a person what their mental health balance, uh, calmness is, or something they use as a meditation or as a device to help themselves balance life, work, and everything else. So if he decides, what, I need an hour, a couple of hours to play a video game, for example, or to hang out with the guys and play, I don't know, poker. I'm being stereotypical right now. I'm just making examples. But whatever he's chosen, know that maybe before you guys met, he used that as a way of spending time with himself
Relaxing.
as a downtime. Don't see it as him um, moving away from you. See it as him taking a minute for himself so he can be better for you. See it that way. And the same thing goes for females. A man, letting not letting, because you can't let nobody do nothing, but respecting the fact that maybe the female needs time away from him as well to do her own thing. So, five
Okay,
ways to stop
we
emasculation men and create a healthy relationship. Number one, stop trying to control the male, and trust your man can figure things out himself
his way.
and his way. Okay, it
Okay.
doesn't have to be your way.
Look for the best in him. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly criticizing his job, the way he drives, if there's a way he can do anything, you will help him to feel help him not to feel defeated and shut down. When you focus on what he's doing well,
Mm-hmm.
he will rise up. You applaud him. Don't
Exactly.
give don't
And
give
don't see it as
unsolicited
babying him
advice.
when you applaud him either. It's the same thing as having a cheerleader support system. The same way you want a support system around you to cushion you when you have a fall, your spouse or your mate is looking for you to be that support system sometimes. So you know, you know, that's the best way I can say it.
If he asks for your help, ask at how he supports you. Otherwise, he won't offer to help you again.
Yes, and you see that many times where you know, for example, let's give an example, Teresa. Let's act it out. Male or female? Which one are you doing?
Yeah, okay, go on. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The dominant one.
Okay.
Hey,
Babe,
can
can you
you
help me
trust
take?
me?
It's what?
Go on.
Okay, babe, can you help me take the groceries in?
Oh, yes, I can. Where do you want me to
Okay.
put them?
Yeah, you're not doing it right.
I'm
Can you?
not taking the groceries in, right?
No, no, no. You listen. I want you to take the first bag first. Okay. So that because that's the cold stuff, and that has to go in the
Oh,
freezer. So that has to go
okay.
first.
Okay, got you. I'll take the cold bag in.
Okay.
You want
And
me to pack
then,
them straight in the freezer?
but
You want
hold
to
on.
pack
But then you gotta
them away?
unpack it. You gotta unpack it. You
You
know
can
what? You're
unpack
not
it.
doing it right. I got it. I got it. I got it. I don't need your help. I got it.
That's a fine example.
Well, oh, there it goes.
They run out of time. Okay,
We gotta go
quickly
out and
for
come
the
back
last
in.
one.
We have
Be
pulled
direct
down
and
our subscription from Zoom because so we're switching platforms. So we are gonna take a quick
deposit.
break. Rudy, Baby, Eiffel, Victor, all in the audience tonight, having their little conversation, going back and forth. Good night, all of you. We will be right back with some more hot tea with pleasures. Please don't go away. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Drop us a line and let us know what you think of the show, as well as what you think we should use as a platform. We'll be right back.
Cause when life and sugar, they just want to stick. The woman know their pussy and they want to taste it. Sugar boy, don't play with my head. If I can't get you, boy, I don't want no one else. Sugar boy, please understand. Don't ever give my dinner to another woman. Chitanga down low, when I come up so. Cause when life and sugar, they just want to stick. The woman know their pussy and they want to taste it. Sugar boy, don't play with my head. If I can't get you, boy, I don't want no one else. Sugar boy, please understand. Don't ever give my dinner to another woman. Chitanga down low, when I come up so. Cause when life and sugar, they just want to stick. The woman know their pussy and they want to taste it. Sugar boy, don't play with my head. If I can't get you, boy, I don't want no.
Okay, so we're back. Okay, let's
Welcome.
continue. What number are we at?
We were just closing off the 5 ways you can stop procrastinating
Mm-hmm.
and create healthier relationships. You can just run through briefly. The first one was stop trying to control, trust the man to figure things out his way, look for the best in him.
Yeah, continue.
3, don't give unsolicited advice. 4, if he asks for help, accept how he supports you. And 5, be direct instead of nagging. Tell him what you want and need, and then give him the space to provide it.
I'm watching the chat. I can't. I'm not even gonna go back and forth with those. I can't. Rudy's here, so Rudy and Victor are going back and forth with their nonsense. Okay, so let's go to the next. The next.
The
The
next
next
one
article.
is
So here's a call to action: identifying the ways you might be unconsciously emasculating your man, and choose one step towards having a relationship you want. So we're going to talk about sexism now, because so that was emasculation of males. Now we're going to talk about sexism, because I think that everyone looks at sexism differently, and they see it as, oh, women are whining, or it has to be feminist. oh, are these are angry women and they always complaining about something. And so we're going to talk a little bit now about sexism, and then I want to talk about misogyny and what that looks like. Go on, Teresa.
Okay, just pulling it back up.
Yeah. And I'll give a little bit of a percentage. So, for example, full-time working
From
moms,
this,
ideally for young children. Um, so, full-time women, you have 16%, working part-time, 42%, and then not working at all, 33%. What's the ideal situation for women with young children? Working, 12%, part-time, 47%, and not working, 33%. And what's the ideal situation for men with young children? 70% are working, and 20% are part-time, and only 4% are not working at all. So there you can see the big differences between a woman and the man in the work field. Go on.
mhm. So in that little graph that Hillary just produced, it was, you can also add to that that the results of the 42% of women that work experience reported, the experience reported in 2023, they had reduced their work hours in order to care for children and other family members at the same point in their career. And 28% of that, the fathers at the same time.
1 second. Can you guys hear Teresa? Because Victor's talking about your microphone. Let us know if you can hear Teresa. Go on, Teresa. I'm going to assume that they can. Because Victor
Right,
says,
so
use the microphone now that you got one. So, but Collect say they can hear you. So go on, continue. I can't. Just ignore them. Go on.
oh gosh.
Okay.
So that's according to the
Mm-hmm.
graph that Hillary was reading earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that the majority of the time, women are the ones that take up the full-time working,
Mm-hmm.
full-time work, and still they manage the household.
Right.
That's basically it for the graph that you was reading.
Mm-hmm.
They also said that it is ideal, in the ideal situation with young children, women are the ones that either work part-time
Mm-hmm.
and still take up the role of dealing with the children, or not at all and they still deal with children, whereas men are only 12% of men and they work full-time. But with the ideal situation for men with young children, they're saying 70% work part-time or 20% don't work at all, leaving that with 4%.
Yeah.
And this is research from PEW Pew Research Center, so you can check that one out if
Yeah.
need be.
So I'm going to talk about women from equity point of view when it comes to sexism and the kind of harassment that they experience in the workplace as well as maybe at home. Not being respected for juggling careers and family life continues to be the front burner issue. So, for example, a woman comes to work and she might be left out of certain meetings or certain decisions because they think that she cannot manage home life and work life, that the home life will be paramount to the work life, and that she will be able to commit to certain projects because of the time that is required or the time it happens at, without even asking her what she can and cannot manage, assuming that she cannot manage it, putting women into roles that they think are for females, roles that they think that we can handle. That those are other ways of sexism shows up in the workplace. Equity is one of the major conversation pieces because that affects the finances, which also affects the home, and women not being paid at the same level that a man is paid for the same job.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone in the audience that has experienced that within their work environment?
Now, here's the question that we have. Why is it that And you remember, when it comes to sexism, it has to do with talking about a woman's her ability to think, her ability to make decisions, her it goes into more sexual conversation where now you're talking about her character, her ability to let's say lift something, or demoralizing her presence, questioning her, over talking her. We often hear the word mansplaining. These are different things, and then it can even lead to sexual harassment. So there are many different aspects that can happen in sexism. But here's the question that we have for you tonight, and we're all like halfway through the show. Why is it that sexism is treated differently than male emasculation? Why? They're both in both situations, the person is being demoralized, disrespected, and assumed to not be able to manage themselves. So why is it that we do not have the same kind of regard when it comes to male emasculation? And I'm not talking about men that practice misogyny, because that's different. They hate women. That's a hatred of women to the point where they can actually kill a woman. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about women to men emasculating them, and men to women using sexism to keep them in the position that they think they should be. So why are both are being disrespectful? Why is it more advocated about sexism than when it comes to male emasculation? And male emasculation can lead to domestic violence towards the male. It can lead to rape. It can lead to many different things for a man, but society does not treat emasculation of men, abuse of males, or rape of men the same way that it do of females. And so where is that coming from? And why don't we have more conversations around that? And why is it uncomfortable for people to have those kind of conversations? What do you think, Teresa?
That's all a mouthful. I find that with sexism and emasculation, that those two persons tend to, because I'm seeing here in the chat, Victor's asking if
we think men or women are equal.
Think men and women are equal. In what light are you looking at, Victor, in terms of work?
Yeah.
Because I know for me, when I finished college and I went into printing graphic arts, I find that the owner of the place, what's happening?
I'm reading what they're saying.
Was like, when I have to print, it was always a question of what I'm doing, if I'm mixing inks right, if I have the rollers correct. I was always questioning more so than the men. It always was put forward that the men can do it. And another thing too, there was one place that I went to, and when they knew that a female was coming, they sent notes back to the school saying that they prefer men, and this because of the night shift. And I ended up not going to the job. So in terms of work being equal, I don't see it as men and women are shared equal, doesn't have the equal opportunity. It always comes.
I think what he's asking, well, 1 second. I don't think he's asking that question, because if you read the chat, what they're saying in there, they're saying that, well, so Rudy said, in his job, men and women get the same pay depending on the time of service. And Victor said, do you see women digging wells, cleaning septic tanks? We are not equal. We have roles to play. I don't want to play pregnant. I good with cleaning and digging the well.
Huh?
So, okay. So,
but here in Barbados, I know there are women that dig wells. If that's what you're saying.
So let me sound this out and round this up and smooth it out a little bit, and tell me if if we think, if we're saying it, if we're saying what you're saying, I want to paraphrase. So are you saying that everyone has a role to play, and depending on the situation, everyone has a particular role? So there's certain roles that are built for men, and there's certain roles that are built for women. That is agreeable. However, I think what we're talking about is when you're in the role of a particular job, being respected at the same level. That I think there's two different things. So you have societal roles, and then you have economical roles. So if I am doing the same job as a male, hold on. If I'm doing the same work and I got hired to do the same job as a male, we should both be paid the same. However, in society, we have different roles as individuals. We have roles that we're just put into because we're born a certain way. And then we have roles that are created for us. So which one are we saying is correct?
But the thing is, if you are interviewed and you have been selected for that job, why is it then when you are in the job, your performance is questioned?
Okay, good question. So yes, but that's the Odyssey. One, two don't make the number. Yes, agreed. Oh, okay. So he said yes, agreed. Okay, so that's what he's trying to say is that we have roles that we're naturally in, and then we have these roles that, and then you have the job situation, which is totally different. So they're different. They're two different positions. Now, but the question I still have is why why is it that sexism and male emasculation are looked at differently? That's what the question is. Now, you have some males that take it to a whole different level, and that's the misogyny. That's where that part comes in. So, misogyny and sexism is totally different. One has to do with the other. Misogyny is complete hatred, whereas sexism has to do with demoralization and not thinking that person is capable of doing something. So don't confuse misogyny for sexism because it's not. It's completely different. But again, so we're gonna put that in onto our platform, and maybe our YouTubers and Instagram people can answer that question. What is it? Why is sexism treated differently than male emasculation? So Victor says, but even then, we don't think with emotions. We think objectively. We think object. Let a woman morning go bad. Everyone has hell to pay. Okay. You know what? It also goes to the fact of the matter is that society has not allowed men to be emotional. When men are considered emotional, they're like considered weak. But people as human beings, there's different emotions a human being experiences. Happiness, sadness, anger. Like there's so many different ones. So why is it that women can only behave or allowed to behave a certain way or expected to behave a certain way, and only men are expected to behave a certain way? And I think it's very Western, by the way. I think it's very Western behavior compared to other countries and cultures, because other countries and cultures, you have men that hold each other's hands because they're friends, and on this side of the world, that's seen as, oh, you're homosexual or something is wrong. Or I remember when we were growing up, we would hold each other's hands. Remember, little girls would hold each other's hands and walk around and hug each other and whatever. And the Western ideology of what
I
affection
think women
is.
doing that, personally, women doing that is accepted because of motherly instinct.
Yeah.
But when men do it, it is seen different.
It's seen differently.
Seen unhealthy.
Exactly. And the thing is that you wonder why, and I'm not saying that, this is my opinion, and we wonder why people that live in the eastern part of the world are more community based. They have a stronger community, as far as I can see, and from a stronger family value, and they have, although there is commercialization and capitalism everywhere, it's easy to see where it's being put. For example, here in the Western world, we are made to believe that it's so important to have a big house, a big car. Men are supposed to look a certain way, be a
White
certain way,
picket
act a
fence.
certain way. Yeah, yeah. You have to have a big penis, for example, to be a man. You have to be, have a six-figure job to be a man. To be a woman, you have to have big booty and a small waist and big breasts. That's a real woman. Um, you know, there's so much commercialization and capitalism that's actually put onto human behavior and use it as a weapon to keep us all separated and going against each other when we can, if we have conversation and communication between the sexes, we will realize that we're all being controlled by capitalism. I mean, do you really think that it's the truth? I mean, think about it. Why would you want me to raise my son to never cry? Why? Why would you say that if he cries, he's weak? When crying is a way of releasing stress, crying is a way of tapping into your emotions and allowing yourself to decompress, right? Allowing yourself to be sad and having that emotion. Why would you tell me that if my son does that, he's weak and he's a P? And we know what the P is. YouTube will kick me off if I say it. It's a cat. Right? Why is that? Why is that? And then when it comes to females, if you don't look a certain way, you're not feminine enough, or you're not considered beautiful or attractive, or or woman enough. Why do we have that? And if you look at the products and the different production that goes around that, it has to do with capitalism. What?
I'm just, I'm just reading what Victor had in the
Let me
chat.
see what he's saying. Let him.
Imagine a
Why?
man is a hunter and he has to
Imagine a man
go
is a
and kill a
hunter and he has
lion
to go kill a
with lack
lion
of
and
food
bring back food. And
and say, I can't kill the lion because it's cute. Where does he get these things from?
I don't know what's happening. Anyways, that's my whole that's my whole response to that in the whole, why we're not looking at the male emasculation, because society has said, whoever society is, that men are supposed to behave a certain way. And if a woman says it to them, if a woman slaps a man in the face, if a woman beats him up on the street, she's considered handling him. Yeah, get him. I've seen so many videos where we're cheering her on. But let that be a man turning around and hitting that woman back. All of a sudden, he's an abuser. All of a sudden, he is, how could you hit her back? She's weaker than you are. Even in that moment, we're assuming the woman can't handle herself. So we as a society have to look at ourselves and our thoughts and our ideology and mentality of what a woman is and what a man is. And that is why we do not look at male emasculation, because we emasculate men all the time by saying, why are you crying when when they're boys? We start in the childhood, we break them down in the childhood, and then we throw them into society as adults and say, now give me some roses. Show me your emotions. Show me you love me. That's my answer for that. And then when it comes to women, the same thing, where they're telling the men, oh, a woman is supposed to be a certain thing, do certain things, behave a certain way. And if they're not doing that, they're not women enough. And then the man is expecting that. So again, my take is capitalism. That's my response. Teresa.
Here we are doing that. I like the first half of it when we were talking about how women should treat men, the emasculation, men, and how to create healthier relationships. That's my takeaway there. And stop trying to control whether you are the breadwinner, as we say, of the relationship.
Yep.
Whether you're the one that's more educated, you and your partner, husband, wife, you are a team. You operate as a team. You share the responsibilities in the family life. you encourage and respect each other's space and respect each other's hold on. You respect each other's space. You respect each other as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my takeaway from there. Whether you make the six figures or not,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about love, respect, and communication with your partner.
And imagine having a person that makes six figures and treats you like shoot. you know, he's treating you like crap, but he makes six figures. you know, and if your spouse is not making financially the amount, maybe coming together and having a conversation and saying, how can we help each other do better? If that is the importance of the relationship, finances, that is, right?
If it's a case that the female, the wife, is making
Mm-hmm.
the better salary in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you have that discussion, if dad is the one to stay home
Mm-hmm.
and the mom goes out and work, that can happen. That's something you can sit down and communicate about. You can discuss that.
But the same way we have women who are staying home to take care of the
Mm-hmm.
children because they've decided that he's going to go out and work and she's going to stay home, and we want that same respect as mothers doing the
It
work
can
at
be
home.
vice versa.
Then vice versa, when the male is staying home, then he has to get the same respect. He should get the same respect.
Yep. Yep, agreed.
So Victor says we
And
are
our
thought to
last,
do with the task at hand, no matter how we feel. Well, that's the problem. that is the problem, and that's why we have domestic violence. Another reason for domestic violence, where males are not feeling they have any control in society, and now they're going home and wanting control inside the home and taking the control, and by how society has taught them, and that is by being abusive. So we're trying to realizing that and fighting back at that, having communication, having discussions like these, and being uncomfortable for a minute to be comfortable so we can get better, male and female, they, them, everybody, right? Okay, so Teresa, let's do our, we did a little bit of a recap. Let's go back all the way to the beginning. Technical issues, we would like you to tell us if you know of any podcast platforms that have video ability. Be real. If a woman making more money than a dude, she's probably eventually look for a man making more. But that's what we're trying to say is, if that is listen, everybody has a purpose, objective in life, and what is important to them. And if finances is important to you over love and respect for a person, that's your thing. Fine. But don't expect, and I use the word expect because that's what we're dealing with, expectations. Don't expect that if something happens, the person that is only there for finances is going to be there for you emotionally, right? You have to determine what's important to you. If finance is important to you, and whether what he makes is the importance, and you don't really look at the entire relationship to see if he's also there for you in the rough times, then when the rough times happen, do not expect that person to be present,
to have that support,
because now you're not making six figures either. Right? So that's what I got to say about that. Anyhow, Barbados. Teresa, remind us of the vendors.
Yes, we will be live in Barbados July 28th. Our vendors will be Ashlar Designs, Gordon the Fish Cake Guy. I need to get Gordon's full name. I keep saying Gordon the Fish Cake Guy.
I can't wait for that fish cake, just saying.
He's on location at Folsom Park. Join us with the Ashlar Designs, like I said, Phantom Ink and Barber Shop. He will be there. We're gonna be having Cat Spraddle with his sweet potato vodka. He has an interesting story that he can share with you. We also be having the good Christine from the goodlife.bb. You can check all our guests out on Instagram. That's the goodlife.bb Cat Spraddle vodka. You just type in Cat Spraddle with a K, and you will find him there. Gordon, I'm not sure of his Instagram, but before the month end, I will get that information for you if you're in Barbados. going down to Folkestone Park, you can try his fish gates out. As soon as you enter Folkestone Park and you're in the car park, garden is to the right, closer to the wall, closer to where the showers are. So Garden Fish Gate guy is there. Found the Ink and Barber Shop. He's on Whitehall Main Road. You can check him out for your ink, your tattoos, your piercings, and also your haircuts. And he's a very good artist as well. So you can imagine.
And he's gonna be on our show as one of the co-hosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then also joining us will be Rudy from in the chat. He'll be joining us also as Dario.
Yes, Dario.
So we will be having some fun.
I can't wait. I think it's gonna be so much fun. I think Dario and Rudy, on the show together is gonna be hilarious. We're gonna be they're gonna be drinking a little bit of alcohol, and we're gonna have some food. I'm excited about that. Hopefully everything works out smoothly. If it's a rain day, we'll go over by the fish gate guy if it's a rain day. Right? We keep it real.
Yeah, so you guys can head on to those vendors, and you can make your purchases. And remember, purchases from these vendors, a donation will go towards, what's the name of the place again, Hillary? Donations.
Well, we haven't decided yet. We're gonna go towards a women's shelter, but we just have to confirm first before we advertise that. Well, I'm gonna read an excerpt from my book before we go. As you guys know, I have a book coming out in this year. Still trying to load it on Amazon, so I'm gonna read an excerpt right now. Continuation from last week. If you didn't hear, you can go onto a YouTube channel and you can go onto the channel. You can hear the beginning. Reading number 2 is reading number 3. In her dying breath, she thought to comfort me so selflessly. So I stood there looking at my children, wondering why I stayed so long. I knew how it felt to want to worry so much about your mom. You can't be a child. Yet I did the same to them. I felt so guilty that I had failed them. I tried so hard to be the perfect mom, the one that would make sure that they were clean, fed healthy meals, read them stories at night and tuck them in tight, making sure they joined every sport, every club, soccer, judo, basketball, and robotic club, go to preschool, learn new things, taught them to be innovative and creative, watch out for predators, and never going without. But what a child wants most is a parent who's mentally present, a parent who loves them enough to know their own value, a parent who knows their own worth, displays happiness and can appreciate simplicity. I couldn't offer them that. I remember sitting on the corner of the bed, 418 pounds of me, effed up and bleeding. Okay, that's it.
Nice.
So anyways, we are out of time anyhow. We're gone over a little bit, but I just wanted to do that. Teresa, it's
Zoom
always a pleasure.
Us.
That what?
Zoom prompted us.
Zoom was like, get off. We're back to the old system. Anyhow, Teresa, it's always a pleasure talking to you and having you come to us. Thank you again for all of everyone to stopping by Hot Tea with Pleasure. Please come back again in time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Moisturize your life with us, and you can join us on Instagram. We're on Twitter as well as RSS, where you can have multiple platforms, including Spotify, Apple, as well as Google. So we will see you next Saturday with a more exciting topic, and we look forward to seeing you in Barbados on July 28th. Teresa, ciao. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Nicolette.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Miss that stack, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took a red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel?